Most people completely misunderstand how starting a business in Australia actually works. And that misunderstanding has cost thousands of people time, money, and even their chance at building something successful. Because here's the truth. Australia doesn't technically have something called an LLC, and that single detail changes everything. If you're planning to register what you think is an LLC in Australia, there's something extremely important you need to know first. Because if you follow the wrong advice, you could end up registering the wrong type of business, paying unnecessary taxes, or exposing yourself to legal risks you never saw coming. But don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand exactly how the system works, you'll know precisely what to do step by step. Now, let me tell you a quick story. Michael, a freelance web developer from California, decided he wanted to expand his business internationally. Australia seemed like the perfect choice. Stable economy, English speaking, strong legal system. So he did what most people do. He searched online for how to open an LLC in Australia. Within minutes, he found dozens of guides. Some told him to register a company. Others mentioned sole trader structures. A few even talked about partnerships. But nobody clearly explained the difference. So Michael picked one at random and registered the wrong structure. 6 months later, he was dealing with unexpected taxes, compliance headaches, and legal confusion that nearly shut his business down. And here's the scary part. His mistake is incredibly common. But this is where things get interesting. Because once you understand how business structures in Australia actually work, you'll realize something powerful. You can set things up in a way that protects you, saves you money, and positions your business for growth from day one. So let's break this down step by step in the simplest way possible. First, we need to clear up the biggest misconception. Australia does not have LLCs in the same way the United States does. Instead, the closest equivalent to an LLC in Australia is something called a proprietary limited company, often written as PT Limited. And this is where many people get confused. Because while the names are different, the core idea is very similar. A PT Ltd company gives you limited liability. That means your personal assets are generally protected if the business runs into trouble. But here's the problem. Not all business structures in Australia offer this protection. And choosing the wrong one can expose you financially. Let me show you what I mean. Zara, a graphic designer from New York, moved to Australia and started working as a sole trader because it was quick and easy. No complicated setup. Minimal paperwork. At first, everything seemed fine. But then a client dispute turned into a legal issue. And suddenly, Sarah realized something she had completely overlooked. As a sole trader, there is no legal separation between her and her business. Her personal savings, her assets, everything was at risk. This is where it gets dangerous. Because many beginners choose the simplest option without understanding the long-term consequences. But there is a smarter way to handle this. And it starts with understanding the main business structures in Australia. There are 4 primary ones you need to know about: sole trader, partnership, company, and trust. Now, out of these, the one most similar to an LLC is the company structure. Specifically a proprietary limited company. So if your goal is to create something equivalent to an LLC, this is the path you should be focusing on. But here's one detail most people miss. Registering a company in Australia is not just about filling out a form. There are specific steps, legal requirements, and strategic decisions that can make or break your setup. And what happens next depends on how well you understand these steps. So let's walk through the entire process, as if you're doing it right now. Imagine David. He's planning to launch an e-commerce business targeting Australian customers. He wants limited liability, credibility, and scalability. So he decides to register a proprietary limited company. The first step he needs to take is choosing a company name. Sounds simple, right? But here's the catch. The name must be unique and not already registered. And it must comply with Australian naming rules. Many people rush this step, only to have their application rejected. So David takes a smarter approach. He checks name availability first. And this small step saves him time and frustration. But here's where things get interesting. Choosing the right name isn't just about approval. It's about branding, trust, and long-term positioning. Because your company name becomes your identity in the market. And this small decision can have a big impact later. Now once the name is sorted, David moves to the next step. Registering the company with the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, commonly known as ASIC. This is the official body that handles company registrations in Australia. And this is where things become more technical. Because to register a company, you need to provide specific details. Director information, shareholder structure, registered office address. And this is where many people get stuck. Especially international founders. Because you may need a local Australian address. And in some cases at least one director must reside in Australia. This is a critical detail that most guides don't explain clearly. And ignoring it can delay or block your registration completely. But there is a workaround. Some founders partner with a local director or use professional services that provide compliance solutions. And this is where strategy comes into play. Because how you structure your company at this stage affects everything from taxes to control. Now, let's go deeper. Once David submits his application and it gets approved, he receives something called an ACN, an Australian company number. This is essentially the company's unique identifier. And at this point, his company officially exists. But here's the problem. Many people think this is the end of the process. It's not. This is just the beginning. Because now comes the part that determines whether your business runs smoothly or becomes a compliance nightmare. David now needs to register for taxes. Specifically, he needs an ABN, an Australian business number. And depending on his revenue, he may also need to register for GST, Goods and Services Tax (DICS). And this is where things can go very wrong. Because failing to register correctly or on time can result in penalties. But more importantly, it can disrupt your ability to operate. Imagine trying to run a business without the proper tax setup. Invoices get delayed. Clients lose confidence. Cash flow becomes unpredictable. But here's the good news. Once you understand the system, it's actually very manageable. And this is where knowledge gives you an advantage. Now let's continue with David's journey. After tax registration, he needs to open a business bank account. And this step seems straightforward, but there's a hidden challenge. Most Australian banks require physical verification. So if you're not in Australia, this can become a hurdle. But again, there are solutions. Some founders travel briefly to set up accounts. Others work with international-friendly banks or fintech options. And this is where planning ahead makes a huge difference. Because if you wait until the last minute, delays can slow down your entire launch. Now let's talk about compliance. Because this is the part that separates serious entrepreneurs from those who struggle. Running a company in Australia comes with ongoing obligations. Annual reviews, financial records, tax filings. And this is where Emily, another entrepreneur, almost made a costly mistake. She successfully registered her company, but ignored compliance requirements. A year later, she faced penalties and administrative issues that could have been avoided. And this is the reality. Starting a company is easy compared to maintaining it. But here's the insight most people overlook. If you set up proper systems from the beginning, compliance becomes routine. Not stressful. Not overwhelming. Just part of your business operations. Now let's zoom out for a moment. Why do people choose the company structure over simpler options? The answer comes down to three things: protection, credibility, and growth. A proprietary limited company protects your personal assets. It builds trust with clients and partners. And it allows you to scale more effectively. But there's a trade-off. It involves more setup and ongoing responsibilities. And this is where your decision becomes strategic. If you're testing an idea with minimal risk, a simpler structure might work. But if you're building something long-term, something serious, a company structure is often the better choice. And this is where Daniel's story comes in. Daniel started as a sole trader. It worked initially, but as his business grew, he faced limitations. Clients preferred working with companies. He had tax inefficiencies, and his risk exposure increased. So he transitioned to a proprietary limited company. And that decision changed everything. He gained credibility, improved financial management, and positioned his business for expansion. But here's the key takeaway. He made the switch at the right time. Not too early. Not too late. And this timing made all the difference. So now the question becomes, what should you do? And the answer depends on your goals. If you want an LLC-style structure in Australia, you're looking at a proprietary limited company. But don't just copy what others do. Think strategically. Consider your business model, your risk level, your growth plans. Because the right structure is not just about registration. It's about alignment. Alignment with where you are and where you want to go. And this is where things come full circle. Remember Michael from the beginning? The one who made the wrong choice? Once he understood how the system actually worked, he restructured his business properly. It took effort, but the results were worth it. He reduced his risks, improved his financial setup, and finally built his business on a solid foundation. And that's what this entire process is really about. Not just registering a company, but building something that lasts. Something that works. Something that gives you control and confidence. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to start a business. It's to build it the right way. Now let's bring everything together. Australia doesn't have LLCs in the traditional sense. But it offers an equivalent through proprietary limited companies. The process involves choosing a name, registering with ASIC, setting up tax requirements, opening a bank account, and maintaining compliance. Each step matters. Each decision has consequences. But once you understand the system, it becomes a powerful opportunity. And here's the most important part. You're no longer guessing. You're making informed decisions. Strategic decisions. And that's what separates successful entrepreneurs from the rest. So if you're planning to start a business in Australia, take your time. Understand the process. And do it right from the beginning. Because small mistakes early on can turn into big problems later. But smart decisions now can create massive advantages in the future. If you found this guide helpful and want more videos that break down complex global opportunities like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because the more you understand how these systems work, the more powerful your decisions become. And that changes everything.